Hey everybody! Today's video is all about finding the right salon for you, whether it be moving salons or first starting out from cosmetology school. I'm going to be going over some tips and advice that I have that have either worked for me or have not worked for me. This video is obviously directed at stylists, but if you are a client, this video might also help you in getting an idea of what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, like I said, either you are a new stylist finding your first salon to work with outside of cosmetology school, or you are a stylist looking for a change, whether it be because you are not happy, you are moving, anything like that. I want to sort of give my advice on the move that I made exactly 1 year ago today. Today does mark the 1 year that I did make a salon move. This is the third salon that I have been in and the best salon for me, in my opinion, that I have worked in. If you are just clicking on this video looking for advice, I want to welcome you to my channel. I hope you do stick around and subscribe, but you probably do not know that I have had my license for 5 years and I have worked in 3 salons. The first one I worked in for 6 months. It was actually in a little village about 10 miles from my hometown. Very small, and when I say village, I really do mean village. It was not anywhere near the size of a small city even. So as you can imagine, the clientele was pretty slim, but I think it was perfect for me first starting out because it was not as hectic and as busy. So I worked there for 6 months before the salon closed. The owner did have 2 salons and one remained open, but I just wanted to expand my options a little bit further. In the first salon, I also worked Tuesday through Saturday, and I think it was every other Saturday if I remember correctly, so I did get every other Saturday off. But I did have to be there at 9, and she liked me to stay until at least 4 or 5, which is totally fine when you're starting out. You do want a stylist sitting in the salon for walk-ins. So it was considered full-time. And the first salon I worked in was also commission-based. I made 60% and had to give her 40%, which is honestly really great. Usually it's more at a 50-50% ratio, and I also did not have to buy any products, which is also really great. I just had to provide my own scissors and clippers. So that was really good for starting out because you don't realize how much product does cost when you're first starting out. So that was an awesome option as well, which then leads me into the second salon that I worked in. I was there for 3.5 years. It was part-time. I worked 3 days a week. Sometimes I would work 4 if a wedding party was coming in. I would work Saturday, and it was booth rental, which was new to me, so I did have to provide all of my own product, which is, like I said, extremely pricey, especially if you're first starting out. And obviously I'd only been working as a stylist for 6 months, and when I moved salons, I did not have a huge clientele that I was bringing over to the second salon. There are a few reasons, obviously, that I wanted to leave the salon that I was at for 3.5 years. There was just a few things that I was not happy with, and I did not think I was growing as a stylist, and my clientele also was not growing as much as I had wanted it to. I had a pretty good clientele, but I wanted more out of being a hairstylist. And I know I didn't mention before, but I did end up working in my hometown, and I am currently working in my hometown as well. And I do now live actually in the first village that I worked in, which is kind of funny. It's only a 10-minute commute. It's actually perfect for me. But the town is also decently small still. There's not much opportunity as a stylist for starting out to assist or anything like that. So you are basically being thrown in as a stylist with no assisting experience, which honestly is something that I was not looking for anyhow. But the second salon did have a few downfalls that I was not happy with, and I'm not going to really go into them. I do have a video that I put up about a year ago about the pros and cons of being a part-time hairstylist versus a full-time hairstylist. So if you want to check it out, I do list a few reasons why I left in that video. I'll be linking that down below if I remember. And that is when I decided to make the move, and the main reason I'm making this video, or I even thought to make it, was today is the 1-year anniversary of being in the salon, and it flew by so fast, and I have not been happier, and I could not be happier with the decision to move. So whether you're a new stylist first starting out or you are just a stylist looking for change, I hope this video is helpful for you. So the first thing I did was went out to a few salons, whether they were hiring or not. I went out, talked to the owners, got a feel for the salon, figured out if they were hiring, what they did there, what they expected their stylist to do, and if you have a resume, I would definitely bring that as well. So when you go in, make sure you know whether you want to work full-time, part-time, commission, booth rent, everything like that. Make sure you have a good idea. And if you are open to different ideas, make sure that they know that you are willing to kind of work with them as well. But if you are somebody that is very specific on how you want to work as a stylist, make sure that that is known as well. I think going into the salon is a better idea than just calling over the phone. That way they can see you, you can show them work if you have work, and you can really get a feel for the salon itself. Is it a good environment for you? If you already have a clientele, will your clients like it? Things like that are extremely important when making a move from a salon. And even starting out, you do want to make sure that the feel of the salon is something that you are going to be comfortable with. First starting out is really hard and it can be discouraging, especially if you are having to go to multiple salons until you find one that even has an opening. But the first one that has an opening is not necessarily the one that you need to say yes to. Sometimes jumping into something extremely fast is not the right way to go. I would definitely thank them for their time if they're talking to you, but go home, weigh out the pros and cons, things like that, and then decide if that is the right salon for you. Another thing to keep in mind is the services that they are expecting you to do or that you want to do. Are you somebody that just wants to do hair? Are you somebody that also wants to do nails on top of hair? Is that shellac, regular manicure, pedicure, acrylic? Things like that you do need to know before going into a salon as well. Are you expected to do these things at that salon, or is the salon really open with letting you do what you want? The salon I work in also don't have a nail tech, so you do have the option to do nails, but it is not expected. I do not do pedicures. I will do a shellac manicure here and there, and I will also do a regular manicure here and there, but primarily I do like to only do hair. That is my passion and that is what I mostly like to do. I really like to do colors, cuts, and styling, updos, things like that. I'm also not a huge fan of perms, so I tend to not take those on either. I do my grandma's perms and then I have a few clients that I do, but I do not really like to take on new clients for perms because primarily I do like to do color and cuts. So if you are first starting out, you might not even know what you like to do other than what you did at cosmetology school. In the cosmetology school I went to, it was a lot of perms and sets and things like that. So are you somebody that wants more experience in color? Should you take color classes? Things like that are really going to help determine as well in what salon that you are going to be working in. Just make sure you have a good idea of what you're wanting to do, or if you're really open to the idea of adding on services and things like nails, facials. I also do spray tanning. That is an option that some salons may offer as well. You just want to have a really good idea of what you are comfortable doing, what you are not comfortable doing, and what the salon is expecting you to do. And I know I just mentioned hair shows or hair classes, but that is something that I was also looking for when switching salons. The salon that I was at previously, we went to a few color classes in the same town that we worked in, but I had never been to a hair show in the 4 years that I had my license. And to me, that was a really big deal. I was not somebody that was going to just go by myself to a hair show. I really like the experience with other stylists that I know, and as a salon, I think it's really good for like being a unit, going to shows like that and experiencing it and just having a good time. So that was something that I was also looking for, was going into a salon that did things like that as a salon. I did not want to just go to my job, do my work, and go home. I really like the family unit of salons. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to feel the same way, but that is something that you might also want to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is the prices of your services. If you are a stylist that already has a clientele, if you make the move, are they going to be paying more, less, or about the same? The salon that I'm working in now charges about the same. We technically can charge a little bit differently, but sometimes it's easier to keep the salon sort of as a whole price unit or keep it around the same ballpark. So for me, I was going in and basically charging the same prices. Some things were tweaked by $1 or $2, but nothing huge at all. And that was a big thing for me as well. I didn't want my clients having to pay me more just because my rent was more or anything like that. So keep that in mind, having a price list and prices that your clients are comfortable with, but I also don't think that raising your prices is a bad thing. So making a move can also affect your clients, so you have to keep them in mind as well. Obviously, you are number one, but without your clients, you don't have a business. So make sure that they are going to be comfortable where you're at, they're comfortable with the prices, they're going to like the atmosphere. Things like that are extremely important to also look into. It has to be a good fit for you as well as your clients if you already have a clientele built. Another thing that some owners may want you to do is sell product, and then you might make a commission off of that product. Not all salons are like that, but if they are wanting you to product push, you will also probably be having to use those same products, so you become familiar with them and you can actually promote what you like. So keep that in mind, that some salons may want you to sell their products, but you might get commission based off of the sales that you do. Those are some tips and tricks that I have, and going off of that, I want to say that with my 1-year anniversary of this salon that I am in, I am extremely happy. I did not think that I could be as happy as I am at a job. I am working 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday. Obviously, I take the random day off, but it does not happen too often. So I am working at least 40 hours a week, if not more, on top of doing my YouTube channel. And they are both something that I thoroughly enjoy. When you are working, you do want to enjoy your work. It is obviously a job, but as a hairstylist, I think it is very important to also enjoy your work. You want to really enjoy what you're doing. You should be able to enjoy who you work with as well as your clients. I think that is a really big thing. The hair industry, I think, is extremely fun, but if you are not happy in the salon that you are in, I think it is extremely important to make the move or a change. I'm personally not somebody that can wake up in the morning and just go to a job that I do not like. That is not something that I wanted for my life, and I don't think that's something that you should have to do. So I was willing to make the move, and it obviously is a scary thing. I do not like change at all. I cried a lot during that time in figuring out if I wanted to actually make the salon move or not. And when I made the move, it was extremely scary. But when I went in, did the interview, and let them know some things that I was used to and, picked their brains on what they wanted as a stylist coming in, it kind of eased my mind in knowing that there was more than just one salon that I could work in. And I could not be happier with the change, like I said, because as a stylist, I am growing. I'm happier as a person. It has affected my relationships in a good way because I am happier. I'm also building a clientele better than I ever thought I could. We have done a hair show. We bounce ideas off of each other, and it's easy to talk in the salon that I am at. My clients feel a lot happier because they feel like we can just talk normal. We don't have to whisper anything because nobody is judging us, or the atmosphere is just totally different, and it does make a huge difference in you and your clients. If you are in a salon that you guys do not like so much, you're only there to do hair, or if you're in a salon that you actually do feel like a family unit. So I think that is all I have to say, but if you have any questions, please feel free to leave those down below. I will either be answering those in the comment section or making a part 2 to this video. If you are a new stylist or a stylist deciding to make a move, I wish you luck, and make sure that you are making you happy. I think that is the #1 thing that you can do, because if you are happy, your clients will be happy. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you stick around and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.